What is up, Scar Knight, bringing you a brand new Pokemon Nuzlocke. And I was gonna say in the horizon, but we are definitely looking very vertical in space with all these star constellations. Like, where is Orion's Belt? Where's the Little Dipper? Where's the Big Dipper? Whatever. We are here in Pokemon Xenoverse Nuzlocke. Yeah, it is a very long time that I've been looking forward to this project. Yeah, I've never played this game, but I have seen playthroughs of it, you know, just to get a little bit ahead so I could gauge the gym leaders and stuff like that. And I was very impressed with what I saw. You know, obviously, as you saw in the beginning, the Weedle team made this game. And they also made Lumentale, another game that's been freshly released not too long ago. And yeah, I'm sure people in the future will see it like 11 years from now. It's like, Lumentale, like, get with the times, Scar Knight. It's such an ancient game. It's like, alright, I'm talking about at the time. It was literally released a month ago. Like, chillax, dude, alright? Like, chillax. But yeah, if you don't know what a Nuzlocke is, we will get into it in a little bit. But I would like to say that I would like to do Pokemon Xenoverse if I could talk. At least once a week, that I would have one video up. That is the goal, because I have been really busy lately. And I'll try my best, and if I get lucky enough for it, you know, that I can have more than one video a week, then that'd be ideal, right? But you know, if that promise is broken, because you know, if of the busy schedule that I have, you know, just be patient. That like eventually the video will come. You know, I don't do it on purpose to not upload videos. I try to do as much as I can. But if you really want to see more videos, for sure, the best way to do it is to like, share, fave, and that'll tell me, hey, I really want to see the series. Please continue doing the series, please. And I'll be like, well, shit, I mean, people really want to see is a high demand, so I gotta give the people what they want. You know, I'm at the core a people pleaser of what they would like to see, and, you know, that really would help a lot. So for this episode, the like goal is 1 like. I know you guys could do it, you know, in the spirit of all things. I truly believe that we could combine our efforts to go in for the 1 like. You know, it's a very hard goal to pass, but I believe in you guys, alright? Regardless though, let's get started with the Nuzlocke rules. Being rule number 1, for every new area that you enter, you must catch the first encounter and able to get that into your team. Not your second encounter, not your third, but your first encounter. Failure to capture that Pokemon will means not an extra member in your team. This is the only way how you fill out your team and your box and all that stuff. Rule number 2, if the Pokemon faints, it is considered dead and you can no longer use them. After it is dead, you could either put them into the death box or you could release them then and there. Preferably, I like to put them in the death box because I don't know, I can't release them. It's too much for me if I do that. But rule number 3, you must give a nickname for every Pokemon that you capture. This is for sentimental reasons and attachments to your Pokemon pretty much. And yeah, it's also for the feels. And if you don't know, hey, I'm Scar Knight. I'm all about the feels. It's as simple as me putting a Pokemon from my party to the PC, and then I just get sad. Like, they're okay, they're not dead. I just putting them one thing to another, and then that's all it takes. So yeah, it's for people like me that this rule is kind of tailored to. It's just that small thing. Whether you're thriving in your team and making it all the way through your Nuzlocke and winning it, you know, you'll have a better bond for that Pokemon. Or even when you get completely screwed over and that Pokemon dies, you're gonna feel it either way. This is for the full bond of your relationship to you and your Pokemon, pretty much. But yeah, those are the 3 rules, and now we're gonna get into the clauses. Dupes clause is the first one, of course, you know, for duplication, and it's gonna be represented by this Ditto right here. I think I'm gonna put them on the bottom right. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna work out the layout. If you know me as Scar Knight, like, you know that the first episodes I'm like figuring out what I'm gonna put where. I know I should do this beforehand, but yeah, it just refer to Nuzlocke number 1 on the first episode where the layout looks Frankenstein-like. That'll pretty much answer your question. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to put in the bottom right for the Ditto because he represents duplicating and cloning things. So that is why I put Ditto as for that. But yeah, Dupe's Claws is essentially, as the best example is if you catch a Caterpie and then the next route you run into another Caterpie. You can initiate Dupe's Claws and you're free to re-encounter something else. And the thing is, Dupe's Claws is optional, so if you really like that Caterpie, you're free to catch another Caterpie. You're not bound by the rules to just like always do this. If you want a full team of Caterpie, you're free to do so, you know? The next clause is Species Clause. And I'm going to have a Nidoran girl represent this because it's kind of an inside joke since it's so like closely aligned with Nidoran male, so that's why I kind of do the Species Clause thing. But Species Clause is essentially, another example, if you catch a Metapod and then you go to another area and you run into a Caterpie, well, Caterpie evolves into Metapod, so you could initiate Species Clause since it's essentially the same family tree of Pokemon. This could also be the other way around. If you catch the Metapod and you go to a different area and you see a Butterfree, well, obviously Metapod evolves into Butterfree. You don't have a Butterfree yet, but it's still, like I said, amongst the family tree, so you feel free to re-encounter. And of course, this also goes along with other Pokemon that branches into other things, like Tyrogue with Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, and Hitmontop. You know, if you catch a Hitmonlee and you see a Tyrogue, the pre-evolution, you could just re-encounter. And again, this is also optional. If you want a full family tree of Hitmontop, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Tyrogue, you feel free to do so. Like, if you want a Caterpie, Metapod, and Butterfree all on your team, you have that option. Well, that is if you encounter them, but you see the point. And there's the final clause, which is Shiny Clause. It's going to be represented by the Shiny Magikarp, the Gold Magikarp, of course. And this rule is for the Shiny Pokemon that you may or may not encounter, regardless whether it's your first encounter or not. Regardless if it's your first encounter or not. You could be well far down into the game and you've been already to this route, caught that Pokemon like 3 weeks ago. If you go back to that grass, you run into that shiny Pokemon, you are free to catch that shiny Pokemon. You know, failure to capture, obviously you don't get them, but you know, regardless, like a shiny Pokemon is super hard to find because it's so rare. There's a very low chance of getting one. It's for the best that there's the Shiny Clause thing. It's for all those Nuzlockers that would like to use a shiny Pokemon or even gets lucky enough to get them, because like having the Nuzlocke bound rules and not getting one is, I feel like it's a injustice of anything. So yeah, if you see a shiny anything, I probably should say better. If you see a shiny Pokemon like a shiny Caterpie or something like that, you can initiate Shiny Clause to capture that Pokemon and you are free to use them in your Nuzlocke or not. It's just depending on you. Some people like to leave them in the PC. But those are all the clauses. I don't know if this counts as a clause or a rule, but I should mention it anyway, that there are static Pokemon. If you don't know what a static Pokemon is, it is a Pokemon in the overworld. When you interact with it, you're able to battle it and or capture it. For those static Pokemon, they count as static encounters and you are free to capture them. The reason I'm pointing this out though is because, you know, with this clause rule in effect, regardless, like for these static Pokemon, I don't remember if there's a duplicate static encounter like this, like for example Voltorps and Fungus, you know, stuff like that. If there is that, I will be using the token rule not really the token rule. I don't know if I should call it a rule, but I'd be using tokens. And I have used tokens before in other Nuzlockes. Like, for example, I mentioned the Voltorbs and stuff like that. If there's like 3 Voltorbs, I capture 1 Voltorb, and then the other 2 would be counted as tokens instead. And I could use those tokens and use them before the encounter. Like, I can't activate the token if I see a Pokemon that I want. I can't activate the token then and there. It has to be activated, and then the next encounter is the Pokemon that I'm able to catch via that token. Does that make sense? Like I did in Leaf Green, where I was in the middle of a battle, I see Arcanine, and I was jokingly like, oh, I will cash it in right now. No, you can't do that. So after I use it, then go in for the encounter, and that's the Pokemon that you're able to catch. So yeah, that's kind of my preferred method of doing it, because it really feels forced just to be like searching for exactly what you want, and then you finally get that Pokemon, and then you put that token. It feels like kind of very much bending over backwards just to get what you want. Nah, it's that not for me, Chief. Regardless, I think those are all the rules. But yeah, I have been trying to record this over and over again, and I don't know why Xenoverse crashes on me if I stay on the title screen too long, because it's very much a black screen if I talk too much on here. So yeah, I don't know what that's about. Regardless though, I gotten pretty good at like getting down the rules, I think, at least. And I also noticed that the Z and X are reversed. Like, I noticed that X is A and Z is B, and Enter is used as like the default press A thing, if that makes sense. Regardless, we're here at Xenoverse, the title screen. I was just buying time so I could get back on it, because I was like trying to quickly get back to the Xenoverse thingy. So let's get started on this. Sorry it took this long in the video, but it is to choose my starter. It's not going to get too far before we get that option for you guys to pick for me, you know. So yeah, let's get started with Pokemon Xenoverse. Well, of course, the settings right quick, so let's go. This is what I'm talking about, the Z and X stuff. I don't get it, dude. So, text speed fast, and everything else seems to be in order, so let's do that. There seems to be unsaved changes. Do you wish to save them? Yes. So let's do it. I would say, if anything, it's not even that X is A, but it feels like Enter's A. So, yeah. Now let's get started with Pokemon Xenoverse Nuzlocke. Classic mode. Only the Pokemon that participate in the battle gain experience points. If you want a more challenging gameplay experience, Classic mode is what you need. And experience points will be distributed to all of the Pokemon in the party. If you want an easier gameplay experience, Modern mode is the perfect choice. I don't ever agree with I don't agree with Modern mode here, because that's what Sun and Moon did, and I turned that option off. And I always turned it off because there's always that Pokemon that I don't want to get experience at all. And even if, like, I don't know, like for Sword and Shield, they don't have that turn off issue, or that turn off issue. They don't have that turn off option. So there's always that one Pokemon that feels like it's getting a bit too OP. And then all the Pokemon that I actually want that's very lower level is just trying to catch up. And I don't like that. So yeah, I'm going to be doing Classic mode. And I forgot to mention, happy Pokemon Day. This is uploaded at Pokemon Day. Hope you guys, I know that the Pokemon news came out earlier today. I don't know what that is, because I'm recording a little bit beforehand. But I hope you enjoy it. Oh my god, could you believe that they're releasing Pokemon Black 3 and White 3? I didn't know that either, dude. That is crazy. Yeah, now let's get started with the Nuzlocke, but not really, because the Nuzlocke wouldn't start until we get Pokeballs and or Pokemon, so it's not even the first episode of the Nuzlocke. Let's get started anyway. I can't wait any longer. Sir, come here, please. Please tell me. I have great news for you. Follow me, come on. Here we are. Let's play a game. Could you guess the sex of your baby? Do you think it's a boy or a girl? So if you couldn't guess, this is how you pick whether you want to be male or female. So yeah, last time I checked, I'm a dude, so I'm gonna be picking male for this. It looks like, man, he's really thinking hard on this, huh? He's like, how do you get two, like, thought bubbles like that? Like, I always wondered how that works. Wouldn't it be just one thought bubble? Anyway, let's just go pick the dude. I believe it's a boy. Congratulations, sir. You guessed it. It's just, it literally reminds me of that Family Guy thing with Peter Griffin, where he's like, I can't believe it, Lois. It's a girl. And then she's like, oh my god, with a penis. Well, I'll take care of that. And he holds like scissors and shit. He's like, no, Peter, it's a boy, it's a boy. It really is a beautiful boy. Come with me. First of all, I'll leave the two of you alone for a bit. Clover, how do you feel? Look at that splendid child you gave birth to. Look how he smiles. You two look very alike. Dear, what do we want to call him? I want you to choose his name. I'm sure you'll find a lovely one. Alright, and now we get to pick the name. So, believe it or not, because I know once I type it in, you're gonna be like, what the fuck are you on, Scar Knight? But there's a lot of layers to this. You know, I'm not gonna say everything, but sometimes when I look at this character as well, I do kind of like, I can't help but think of Beyblade. I think from the guy that plays Pegasus. I don't remember his name, but it starts with a G. I don't know if it's like Gia or something like that, but he reminds me of that. So I'll be calling him Geo. Oh, that's Jep. Okay, hang on. Geo. The P's next to the whatever. So yeah, I think Geo kind of fits here, but not really, but maybe. Again, layers. So yeah, we'll start by calling him Geo. How about Geo, honey? Geo, it sounds fantastic. I knew that you wouldn't let me down. Clover, don't overdo it. You should rest now. Time passed and Geo grew, spending days in a joyful family. 5 years later. Geo, get up. Mom and I need to talk to you. We've decided it's time to show you some of the world out there. So today we're going to take a tour of the Nova Ranch. Come on, kid, let's go. Please be careful. Look what a beautiful day it is. This fresh air always cheers me up. Come on, let's go, Geo. I'm gonna show you around our ranch. And yeah, it's crazy that it's nighttime. I was expecting daytime, but I guess it's via clock and all that. Come this way. Our first stop will be the farm. Alright. You know, it's kind of weird that he had me locked in the house for 5 years. See those Pokemon grazing in the field over there? Yeah. They're called Milk Tank, and they always provide us with delicious Moo milk. How do I not know this? Like, do I not have windows? Like, wouldn't I be looking out the windows? So, like, why is there a pink cow outside my house? Like, why is nobody else asking about this? Like, I was outside my house at 2 in a baby stroller, and like, I don't know, man. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. In the evening, however, we close them in the barn to keep them safe. Do they stay for 5 years, Father? Yeah, I didn't think so, Dad. I wanted to show you something else. Come on, follow me. Alright. Are we gonna see something else that's been locked for 5 years? No, that's okay. You know, whatever. I guess it's just me, right? It's all good. You know, I'm not salty at all. You know, I'll drop it. The water of this pond is so clear that you could put your mind in at ease, don't you think? Yeah. It's very calming. It's better now. Better, right? Come on, there's one last thing you need to see. You know, I was wondering if that fish was like trapped there for 5 years, but like I wouldn't know about fishes because I'd never been outside. It's okay, whatever. I said I'll drop it, I'll do it. Do you see this little memorial, Geo? It was erected in honor of your grandfather who left us years ago. But you're still too young for these stories. And that's it. Now let's get back home. Ah, bruh. Hopefully it's not gonna be another 5 years till like I go back outside. What was that? Oh dang. What? There are 3 Pokeballs here. Did someone lose them? Geo, stay here. I'm gonna go check. It seems that each one contains a Pokemon. A grass type, a fire type, and a water type. I have an idea. Geo, why don't you pick one? One? Dad, what? One? Let's get all 3. What are you doing? Nobody's around. What are you talking about? One. I'm just gonna pick one. Yeah, whatever. I guess we did find them and it'd be technically stealing because it probably belongs to somebody else. Whatever. Okay. I could take care of it until you're old enough. Come on, choose the Pokemon you like best. Old enough, it'd probably be like 10 or something, whatever. Either way though, jokes aside, these are the starter Pokemon from which you guys could pick, and with whatever Pokemon that you would like to have, or for me to have in the Nuzlocke, also provide with a nickname. Like, I'm thinking of nicknames. I have thought of a nickname for one particular Pokemon, but I'm not gonna say it until like the Nuzlocke has begun. But more likely, if there's no votes or no votes on nicknames or whatever the heck, then, you know, of course I'm just gonna pick the Pokemon, because I think I'm gonna have the next Pokemon Xenoverse video next Friday, so you guys have like about shoot, I can't do math, like about 10 days, 11 next Friday, because today's Pokemon Day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, yeah, 11 days, something like that. So, actually no, it is 10 days, because Thursday's when I'm gonna record, and then Friday's when it's gonna get uploaded, so you guys have all that time to pick either Shyleon, and I'm saying Shyleon and not Shyleon, because, like, it's a chameleon, that's why it's Shyleon. It's not an evolution, it's not an Eevee in disguise, so don't worry about that. The grass fairy type, quad weak to poison, but of course fairy being strong against dragons and all that stuff, and you know, that's always good. Trishout, the fire sound type, and sound, I'm not fully sure on what it's strong against. I think it's strong against water, flying, and I think fairy types, and it's weak against poisons, and I thought it was electric type, but I'm not quite sure. Hang on, I think it's poison, psychic, and poison and psychic, that's what it's weak to, and I think electric just resists it. I keep getting confused with like Pokemon Prism, because they also have sound types in that game, and in that game they used to be strong against normal types, but electric types were strong against them. So yeah, very interesting. New type is the only new type in this game, so don't worry about that. And there's also Shulong, which long means dragon, and yeah, hence why you see water dragon type, a busted type for sure, you know, like Palkia and Kingdra and all that, where its only weakness was dragon at the time in 4th gen, up until 6th gen when they introduced fairy type, so I guess that's another additional type that is weak to. But then, like with the water type, it's also weak to sound, so there's that. So out of these 3 Pokemon, you guys get to pick, and in the next episode we will see who you guys will choose. Is it Shyleon, Trishout, or Shulong? Regardless, if you like this episode, don't forget to press that like button. If you really like this episode, please consider subscribing. If you want more Pokemon Xenoverse episode, please show your support. You know, pass the like goal. I know you guys could do it. You guys could pass 1 like, then you may or may not get more videos. I'll make it my mission, if I do see the support, to, you know, do more videos as much as I can, because I care about you guys. And I'm looking forward to this Nuzlocke. It's gonna be really not only tough, but it's gonna be really cool, and it's gonna be a huge series. Regardless, white tigers and dragons to you. You've been scarred by the night. I'm out.